This video starts on page 63 of your booklet. And so you can follow along with me. I am not, in all of these videos, I'm not going to go through every step of the booklet because I'm hoping that you're going to work through it on your own. But I do want to give you an idea of what you're looking at. So let's get started. Okay, so now that we've set up customers, we're over here in the customer section and we're going to do some transactions. The first one is talking about different types of transactions, and you can see what you can do is you can create an invoice, but if you create an invoice or an estimate, you're going to have to follow the flow chart and then also make the receiving the payments, and remember the record deposits that go with the flow chart. If you are, let's say, in a retail establishment and you don't really need to create an invoice because the customer comes right across the desk right then and gives you the money, then you can just go directly to the sales receipt and bypass these other items on the flow chart. It will still go directly to the deposits. So when we click on Create Sales Receipt, we can just pull the customer job. And in this incident, you're asked to go to a gentleman by the name of Ernesto Natiello. So I just put down the N for his last name and he pops in, and then I can see all of his customer information comes in, and then I can also go right into the next part of the process. Now, this is an important area in that each QuickBooks has multiple lists, and the multiple lists are important to you because they all associate themselves with the chart of accounts. Remember, the chart of accounts is the granddaddy. So if I look here at the item lists, I can see that these are already been created. When you start your new company, you won't have anything there. So it really depends on your company on how you want to work with this. If you want different services, or if you want to just have if you're actually going to track inventory or any of those types of things. So if you're looking at this rock castle business, they're showing you that, see, these services go to different income accounts. So these are the accounts that are going into the chart of accounts, and they're going into different accounts. You've got your design income account, your labor income account, and so on. Okay, now take a real good look at these, because these are the accounts that you're going to be working with when you're working as you're working through QuickBooks. So and remember, they're coming from the chart of accounts. It's really important to, when you're setting up your services, to just be concise. Okay, this one has an awful lot of services. You don't need to have all those. You may have just one service. I mean, if I look at my company, I maybe have two. My web page design, my computer maintenance. Oh, and I have three programmers, because I have a programmer that I use. And so I have three different services that I offer, and I'd like to track the income from those services. That's where my income, of course, comes in my chart of accounts, and it would be listed under an income account. So when I come here, you can see the income accounts for the different types of income are listed. Okay, of course, again, you don't need to do anything but simplify it for yourself. Don't make it overcomplicated. So when I come into my item list and I look here, you just want to make sure that you've got the information that you need. We will be discussing items in detail in in page 95 of the textbook. So you can let's go over into just creating these sales receipts, and I'll make it a little bit easier on you. So I'm back to the home tab, going straight over to my sales receipt. Well, actually, I can just go to the window here. I had it open. So, and I had Ernesto pulled. And so now what I want to do is look at the various sales receipt. Now, I can mark this to print later, and that's just so that I won't get a printout right now. And or I can just put in the sales number and it will just automatically record. It just depends on how you want to do that. Okay, so and now we look at the date, and the first thing you want to do is to pull the item. So the the sales this sales receipt is for cash. I'm on step 3 of page 64, and I've got a cash, and it's cabinet pulls. So if I start typing cabinet, CAB, okay, let's see what we've got. Cabinet pulls. There you go. See, so it's a subcategory under cabinets. So then we're putting in the quantity as 1, and the rate is at 10. Now you'll find out later that you can go ahead and enter these information, but you can enter all of this data. See, let's get rid of this. Oh, I got 11 in there. I just want 1. Okay. And so there you go. You can find out that you can enter all of this data as far as the rate and the amount. All of that information can come in your item lists later on. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to do a print later. Come up to print preview. And it just gives you a better idea how it looks. Okay. One thing that is bringing up is that this in step 10 is that this wrapped address doesn't look very good. So there's a way to customize that. I can just come up and go to formatting and customize the data layout, and my layout designer basic customization, and then I can make the title a little smaller. Let's see, change the font to 10, see what that does. No, still not right. Oh, company name, change the font there to 10. Let's bring the title, change the font up to 14. There, that's the sales receipt was the title. Okay, so you can see it's coming in smaller now, but maybe I even want it to be 11. See what that happens. That looks better. Okay, now let's take a look at it. And preview, and now it all comes out as one name. So that's one of the instructions that's on your that it's talking about. Okay, so if you were going to print it, you would print to a PDF, and you can do that if we're going to print. And mine's going to my PDF reader in Adobe Acrobat, and I can just save it to my desktop, which would be under my QuickBooks lesson files, and I just have to put in my invoice number, which would be invoice 3009. Now, if you wanted to print it out, just give yourself an idea of what it's going to look like. That gives you an idea of what the sales receipt looks like. And in our paperless world, not everybody's even going to want one, so you don't have to print them. But that's just to give you an idea how that process works. Make sure that you click on Save and Close. And let's go to creating an invoice. So this is just an invoice, and in this case, we're going to even go one step further and make a, I'm just want to show you how to make a pending invoice. So you're going to mark this invoice as pending, okay, as soon as we create it. So there he is, Tom Whalen. And the reason why, this is just to give you some kind of an idea of different things, the reasons why you would mark an invoice as pending. This invoice is supposed to be on 12/30, and I believe it's going to have a different number because there's an invoice that you're creating before this, but I just wanted to show you how to do this one with the pending invoice. The other invoice is not pending. Pending just means that you've got some services. In this case, you've got some services that you're generating, and we like this one is repairs, and we have repair work, and all it's doing is telling you that, hey, some oh, and I'm sorry, and I messed up because this is actually his screen porch. Okay, so I'm going to his screen porch and it's 12:30, and all right. So I'm making repairs and I'm marking it as pending. And let's see, the amount comes in. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to put in here. No, I just got the one. Okay, so once you've done that, that invoice now is pending, and you can come back to it later on and add to it. So I saved and closed, but your instructions are not telling you to do that. But if I come now to the screen porch, see, I've got that invoice that's sitting there for the $70, and it's still pending. But now I'm going to add some of the items. Now, notice that the repair work was non-taxable, and that's because it was a service item, and you don't tax services. So this is a patio door, and we can put in and it was one patio door, and it was taxable for the door, and that was an inventory item. But now I got framing labor. Let's make sure that I don't have something called framing labor. No, that's it. And I 4 hours, see, and it's a different rate. And of course, you know, depending on what type of work you're doing, you may have different rates. So see, repair work was a $35 an hour rate, and framing labor is a $55 rate. So in this particular invoice, the actual invoice number was supposed to have a 1 after it. Okay, and so now I can unmark. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Now I can mark it as final by just clicking up here. My invoice is over, and I save and close.